Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special pre-Christmas edition of New Distributor Training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International, and it's my privilege to be able to take a little bit of time this morning and share some of the concepts, the philosophies, the mindset that creates high-level success in our profession. Now, this morning, as with every Saturday morning new distributor training, our focus is on the brand new person, somebody who's just getting started in Zija International, looking for the knowledge and the information, the path, if you will, to achieve the goals that they've set. And one of the things I always like to do to start out with is to make sure that as a brand new person, you're plugged in. Plug into our system, plug into the resources that are available. As I look at the names of the attendees, I recognize, many of you are part of my organization. Some of you are not part of my organization, and then there's a number of you that are brand new. I really can't tell what organization you are because I don't recognize your name. I apologize for that. But there are many people besides myself and Zija International who have created resources for you as a brand new distributor to launch your business, to be successful, to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself in this endeavor. And so I encourage you to plug into your upline diamonds, upline emeralds, platinums. Pin rank does not define leadership. Okay, we've had people hit higher ranks, hit diamond ranks that really don't have the leadership that's necessary to sustain high-level income. That's an important ingredient in long-term success. It's easy. I don't want to say it's easy. It's possible to become quickly successful and have it fall away. Okay, and that's because, Jim Rohn says, your level of success will rarely outpace your personal development. And in those rare occasions that your success does exceed your personal development, it's not likely to stick around very long. Personal development is the most important ingredient. It's a foundation, if you will, to true long-term success. But again, I encourage you, reach out and identify the people that are part of the upline structure for you that are here to support your efforts. Many of you are part of Pat Anderson's organization. Pat Anderson has done a phenomenal job of creating a lot of resources for you on her team website, www.clubmoringa.com. I noticed some of you are part of, Dennis Estes' team, Pat, Terry and Mac McDonald, Reed and Yvonne Nelson. There's many people out there that have created resources for you. You can identify who those people are that are here to support you. Simply go into your Zija back office. You can find who your upline lineage is there. Call distributor support if that's a challenge. Ask your sponsor. See, here's what's happening in Zija today. We're on an unprecedented growth profile. I believe the last number I heard was exceeding 5,000 new enrollees every single week. Now, if you think about that, the majority of those are customers, okay? But many of them are distributors, and we have many new distributors that are bringing in new distributors, and, you might only have been in the business, your sponsor might have been in the business a week longer than you. And one of the things that I try to teach my sons growing up is the concept that you can't teach something you don't know. And so what you do want to do is focus by going upline. Now, many of you are part of my organization, so I also encourage you to plug into the resources I have. And there's a few different things you can do. You can go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified every time I post a new video, a presentation, a training, what have you. When you go to that YouTube channel, click on the link that says Playlists. There is a playlist on there that is specifically for, if you will, first exposure for a new distributor. It contains 4 separate training videos. The first one, about 30 minutes long, is a I don't want to say it's a training, but rather an information session. The foundational concepts that were taught to me over 30 years ago on what it is that we do in network marketing, because most people don't get what we do in network marketing. It's a very unique distribution model, but what we do in network marketing and how we do it. And so I encourage you to start with that. Part of that playlist are 3 additional little videos, 8, 10, 11 minutes long each, on the foundational elements, the activities, specific activities you would want to engage in to create a fast start story, to get off to a fast start, to launch your business, to develop momentum in the early days of your business. The first one is how to create the list, the prospect list. Most people say, sit down, write down the names of your friends and family. Well, folks, if you want to be a hobbyist, then that's fine. If you want to be professional, create the prospect list the way professionals do, and I teach you how to do that. How to develop your story. Okay, a lot of people don't understand your story will be the most significant element of your success in network marketing. Okay, and again, if you want to get, casual results, approach it casually. If you want to get serious results, get serious. Do it like a professional. Learn how to develop and share the story. Final item, the 90-day game plan. And I can tell you the singular advantage that I've had, both with Zija International and then the second company I was involved in, Zija's my 3rd company, is I already knew what to do. Okay, I understood these things. And that was an advantage because I brought to the table everything that I needed for success: willingness to work, willingness to learn, burning desire to succeed. And the only other thing that I needed was what to do. And since I'd done it once before, I didn't make any mistakes. I was able to launch and go quickly. So encourage you to plug into that. I've got other resources for you. I encourage you to get on my mailing list. Okay, I send out periodic emails on a weekly basis with the upcoming events and so on. You can get on that email list by going to www.fredholmes.com, click on contact, and you'll see my contact information. All my information's there. My home phone number, my cell phone, my email, my favorite color, my shoe size, everything is there. Scroll to the bottom of that page, you'll see a place where you can enroll in my newsletter. That's just my team email list. It's open to everybody. Get on the email list, okay? Sign up for the email list. Go to YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook, okay? I'm putting out a lot of information through social media that can be of value to you in this journey as a brand new distributor to develop, a business within our profession of network marketing. I have a personal page or profile. It's at Fred W. Holmes. So go look for Fred W. Holmes, friend me, okay, and I'll accept your friend request. Go to my business page at Fred Holmes Zija and like the business page, and then you'll start receiving a lot of the materials I'm putting out through that social media vehicle. So many things are available to you. Now, this morning I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to share something with you. I had a conversation with a couple here just in the last couple of days that I thought was very interesting since they're brand new. They have very high level goals. And they posed a question to me that I thought was very interesting. The question was, what do we need to be successful in Zija? And I thought it was a great question. Okay, I mean, so often people, are focused on activities, specifically, where do I go, what do I say, who do I talk to, what do I do, that kind of thing. And that's, maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th down the list on what you really need to be knowledgeable about, because what we actually do in Zija is pretty simple. Okay, it's all the foundational things that we really want to get squared away and clear on. And so I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to share a little bit of what I shared with them, and then I'm going to open it up to question and answers. Okay, because really that's what I found, that this vehicle is a little bit different. The webinar broadcast vehicle is a little bit different than a live training, because in a live training, when I'm in the field, typically what I'll do is I'll spend a portion of my allotted time sharing some information, but then I open up for question and answer. And oftentimes I find that the most valuable time that I have in that venue is not what I trained on, but rather addressing people's specific questions, both in terms of helping them as well as helping others who have similar questions. So I want to do that this morning. I'll ask you to prepare some questions, and I'll see what I can do to answer them, okay? So, question, what do you need to be successful in Zija? Well, there's one simple answer, and that is you need the very same things to be successful in Zija that you need to be successful in anything. Okay, there's nothing different about what we do. It's a unique distribution model, and certainly within the arena of network marketing companies, there's it's hard to imagine a company within our market space, network marketing, that is anything like Zija. Okay, this is, I think, the part most people don't get, especially if you don't have 20, 30, 40 years in the industry to realize how different this company is. This is a phenomenal opportunity to have world-class leadership that we have in Ken Brailsford and our corporate team, to have an infrastructure, multi-million-dollar, fully integrated, vertically integrated infrastructure, to have world-class products that run the gamut of all kinds of different things that we're bringing to the marketplace under the umbrella of Life Unlimited, the natural health revolution. To have the timing that we have right now, to be a company, I mean, we're already in the top 1% of network marketing companies by virtue of the fact that we've completed our 10th year anniversary. Most companies, 99% of the network marketing companies, never last that long. I mean, it's, this is incredibly unique, but as a profession, what we do is really not a lot different than any other enterprise, any other endeavor. And what it takes to be successful in our opportunity with Zija Network Marketing is really what it takes to be successful in anything. Now, let me be real clear on what you don't need, okay? You don't need to come to Zija with, any of the 5 primary characteristics that correlate with success. In the Western world, let's talk about North America. In our environment, there are 5 specific things that are directly correlated one-to-one with success. And the more of these 5 things you have, the more likely you are to be successful, period. Now, what are those 5 things? Number 1, your gender. We already know that men make more money than women. We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to explain it. And we're certainly not going to justify it. It's just the way it is, okay? That's the way it is. Number 2, your age. We already know that more mature people make more money than younger people, okay? Who cares why it is? It's just the way it is. A guy that's typically in a profession at 40 and 50 years of age making more money than the same person that's 20 years of age in that same profession. Your educational level. We already know that income is one-to-one correlated with education. If you have a college degree, you're going to make more money typically than somebody with a high school degree. And if you have higher educational levels, master's, PhDs, you're going to make more money. Okay, your ethnicity, your race. Guess what? It's a common thing that people, white dominant society makes more money than people of color. And I'm not going to talk about all the reasons why, because none of it makes any difference. It is what it is. And then finally, your family background. If you come from a successful, well-connected family, you are much, much more likely to be successful within your life. Those are the 5 characteristics that create success in the Western world. Now, here's the problem with that. You have virtually little to no control over any of them. You can't change, well, this is California, I guess you can change your gender, all right? But in most cases, you are stuck with your gender, your age, your educational level, your race, and your family background. You don't need any of those things to be successful in our profession. Not a single one. The reason I say that is because if you look at the highest level income earners in Zija, okay, none of those characteristics are the foundational elements of success. We have young people and old people that are diamonds. We have men and women that are diamonds. We have all educational levels, all backgrounds, blue collars, professional. We got guys like me that are a truck driver, guys like David Moses was a locksmith and locksmith and plate glass window installer. We've got people with PhDs. We've got doctors, lawyers, professionals that are diamonds. We've got all colors of diamonds. We got white, we got black, we got brown, we got orange, stripe, polka dot. We've got people from high level, successful families, old money families. We got guys like me who were raised by single moms, working class, common as the day is long. So none of those characteristics are a requirement for high level success in our business. So first, let's start with what you don't need. You don't need any of that. Now let's talk about what you do need. You do need the same things that create success in any endeavor. Okay, let me give you three that are real simple, and I already kind of mentioned it a moment ago. If you're going to be successful at anything, you're going to have these three things. Number one, you're going to have a good work ethic, willingness to work. Don't for one second think that anything that I've achieved or any other successful person in Zija achieved was done easy peasy. Okay, it takes work. Now, one of the advantages of our type of business is, for instance, myself, this has always been a part-time business. I do this from home. Many of you know I have my elderly mother with me. Over the last 10 years that I've been with Zija, every year that has gone by, there has been more need of my time investment with her. Okay, and so while it started as a part-time home-based business, it's always been a part-time home-based business. Today, it's extremely part-time home-based business. But during the time that I have available to me to work my Zija business, I work it seriously. I am I am focused on correct activities. Got to have good work ethics. Number two, you got to be willing to learn. Like anything else, there are some unique things about our business. Just like you can't just go drive a truck unless you learn how to drive an 18-wheeler. You can't be a brain surgeon unless you learn how to be a brain surgeon. You got to be willing to learn. You got to be coachable. The third ingredient is burning desire to succeed. Folks, how much you want to be successful will be a critical ingredient in your in the end results. Okay. One of the things that I've like to say is that third ingredient of the three: willing to work, willing to learn, burning desire to succeed. Burning desire to succeed is the most important of the three, for one very simple reason. If why you need to be successful is important enough, it'll create good work ethics. It'll cause you to, get up and do the deal. It'll create coachability. If why you want to be successful is strong enough, then you will be willing to learn the process. For some of us, you got to bang your head against the wall and do it wrong for a while before you start to realize, well, maybe there's a better way, maybe I should be coachable. But finally, that burning desire to succeed will keep you in long enough to achieve the results you're looking for. See, this is the biggest problem in our profession. It is common that we try to, elevate the people with the unique success stories, the fast start to success and so on. Reality is that's not most people's story. Okay, my story in Zija is very common. And understand, I came to Zija with many years of high-level success and experience in the industry. My first year in Zija wasn't particularly spectacular. I mean, I made, from working part-time from home, I made a basic make-a-living full-time income, truck driver income. Now, that's great, but it certainly wasn't anything compared to what I was accustomed to. Probably more significantly, that first year's 1099, half of that money was made in the last 90 days of the year. So if you think of the first 9 months of the year, the income was pretty modest. And because half of that first year's income didn't come into the last 90 days, and it wasn't a huge income. It was, basic average make-a-living income. The second year, because I consistently worked on a daily basis, correct activities, I continued consistently, By the end of the second year, my income was literally 5 times what the first year was, put me into a 6-figure income, put me in the top probably about 4% of income earners, 4 to 5% of income earners in the country in 24 months. I maintained that consistency, daily method of operation, activities every day, focused on correct activities. By the end of the third year, not only did that third year's income put me in the top 1% of income earners in the entire country, it was literally more than double the first 2 years combined, and my monthly income by the end of that third year exceeded the entire yearly income of the first year. Now, I'm not saying that to brag, but I want to illustrate. If I had maintained willingness to work, willingness to learn, burning desire to succeed, but I'd maintained that for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, I would have missed out on half of the income of the first year. If I'd only maintained consistency for a year, I would have missed out on the 6-figure income from the second year. And had I not maintained beyond the second year, the third year was more than double the first 2 years combined. See, that's the nature of our profession. It is a compounding effect. And that's the biggest challenge we have in our profession of network marketing and in Zija, is helping people understand that you can achieve whatever it is you desire if you're willing to work, willing to learn, and you have a burning desire to succeed if you stay with it long enough. It's never a question of somebody fail, okay? The question is, did you stick around long enough to succeed? Pure and simple. Now, let me give you a few more things. What do you need to be successful? Okay, one of the most important things you can do from day one is get crystal clear on what it is you desire. Begin with the end in mind. Too often people start this endeavor with this mindset. Well, you know, it's a great product, looks like it's a good company, a lot of nice people say they want to help me. Maybe what I'll do is, you know, I'll get started. Let me dabble a little bit, see how it goes. And, you know, if this thing starts to take off, I'm going to jump in, and, you know, with both feet like white on rice, okay, and I'll make this thing happen. Folks, wrong mindset. You get what you believe you're going to get, okay? You set yourself up for success or failure, not in terms of, you know, what you bring to the table personally, not in terms of, you know, previous experience, what have you, but it's all up here. If your mindset is, I'm going to try a little and see how it goes, that's kind of like, you know, having your, you know, you just delivered your brand new baby. You got your brand new baby. It's kind of wrinkly and stuff, you know, and I mean, you know, brand new babies, they don't look real cute first few hours, you know. Yeah, you know, it's kind of cool. It's got, you know, a couple of everything, a couple of eyes, a couple of legs, a couple of hands. You know, I think we'll keep it for a little while, see how it does, and, you know, if it does good, we'll keep it. Folks, you don't start raising your child with that mindset. Why would you approach an endeavor like Zija International that has so much potential to change your life? And I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about the ability to have the time freedom to do the things that are the most important things to do, to have the financial resources to do the things that are the most important things to you. Why would you start with an endeavor that has so much potential and start with, well, let me check it out a little bit, see if it works, you know? Hey, if it really takes off, I'll go after it. Folks, it's never going to take off if you don't make it. Pure and simple. All right, now, one of the most important things, get crystal clear on what you want. Okay, start with the end in mind. My first day in my first network marketing company over 30 years ago, I didn't start with that to see if it would work. It was my only hope. Okay, some of you know that story. You know, I left my career as a cross-country truck driver, not because I didn't love driving trucks. I loved driving trucks. Not because it wasn't a good job. Folks, it was the best job I ever had. Okay. I mean, it wasn't necessarily in the world's eyes the best job I'd ever had, but it was the best job I ever had because it was a job that I could do. It was probably, driving trucks is probably the only thing I've ever done in my life other than network marketing that I lasted more than a year or two at. So I'm just not I'm not a real good employee. I was never, cut out to be that guy that takes instructions and follows orders and just, does what I'm supposed to do, right? That's just not me. And so, I didn't leave that because I didn't want to do it. I left that because I had a burning desire to take care of my son. I needed a substantially above average income to provide the specialized educational resources he needed. And I needed extreme levels of time, freedom, and flexibility in my day-to-day schedule to be there to be with him as he grew up. Okay, those were the most important things to me. And so, why have I been successful in this profession? When I started in the very first company, and bear in mind, the first company that I joined was not the company where I made the big money. It was the learning grounds for that. But when I started with that company, I started with, in my mind's eye, I was going to create a six-figure income and have the luxury of working a home-based business where I had free time, latitude to do what I wanted to during my day. Okay? Never occurred to me I was going to have anything else. Here's a phrase you can jot down in your notes, and it came from another person, but here was my mindset. I was going to be alive at the top of the success mountain, or I was going to be dead along the side. Okay, alive at the top of the mountain or dead along the side. Those were the only two possibilities for me. That you would not find me anyplace else other than alive at the top of the mountain or dead along the side trying. I was not going to accept mediocrity. It was the only option I had. And when you get that crystal clear in terms of your, focus on what you want, seeing it tangibly, the burning desire to make it happen, success is inevitable. Okay, you cannot be held back. There is no way that any force, any power can keep you from achieving those goals. So get crystal clear on what that means to you. Some people say, oh, I want to make 100,000 a year. What's that mean? Okay, what does that mean? The number itself, in and of itself, has no tangible value. Okay, oh, I want time freedom. Time freedom for what? Define it, get crystal clear. See, when I started in this industry, I was crystal clear on wanting to be able to write the check no matter what it was my son needed in terms of his educational resources. Very tangible. I wanted to be able to pay for whatever he needed. And I had real clear in my mind, I wanted an environment where I could be at my son's school, be there, during the lunch break, play round ball with him and the boys, be there to take him to soccer practice and hang out on the side, or, do homework in the park, to be able to attend all the games, to be free to participate in his life. I was crystal clear. I'm probably not going to be able to give you an illustration I wanted to give you, but folks, the closer you can, in your mind's eye, experience what it is you desire long term, the faster you're going to be able to identify your goals. Let me leave you with a couple more quick things, and I want to see if there's some questions I can help with. There's a book by a man named James Allen. James, A-L-L-E-N. I believe it's E-N, not A-N. James Allen. It's called As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh. This is one of the foundational, personal development primers, if you will. Now, I'm going to be candid with you. It was written many, many years ago. I think it was written in the, it was either written in the early 20th century, 1900s, or may have been even a little bit earlier than that. But I think it was like 1920s, 19 teens. The languaging is very archaic. Okay, it's a little hard to get through. I own actually a number of copies of that book. I probably have never read one because reading's not my deal. but I have listened to the audio transcript of that book many, many, many times. And one of the foundational elements of that book is the understanding that if you want high-level success, it starts here. Okay, you have to see it before you can achieve it. And I encourage any of you who seriously want to be successful, whatever the endeavor is, whether it be in your business, you know, a physical endeavor, a relationship, what have you, you know, with your children. This book has been an incredible, meaningful thing for many, 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 and I will venture to say there is not one single person who's achieved high-level success in anything that has not read that book. And I'm a firm believer, you know, success leaves clues. If all the successful people have read that book and you have not read that book, well, and you're not high-level success that you desire, maybe that's a clue. Maybe you ought to read the book. You can actually go online and get a free copy of the book. You can go to YouTube and listen for free to the audio transcription of that book. You can go to, forget the couple's name, their website is asamanthinketh.com, I believe. And, you know, if you simply sign up for the newsletter, they'll give you a downloadable PDF of that book. So it's not even something, you know, it's one of the most important things to my success. And over the years, you know, I mean, it has been extraordinary, the level of income that I've accumulated from this profession over the last, you know, 3 decades. And it's free. I mean, imagine that. They give it to you for free. Doesn't even cost you anything. I had a text from D. Hutchins. It was a great little, I think they call them memes now, a little picture of a guy going like this. And the caption was, "You'll invest $100,000 in a college education for a job, but you won't invest $500 in a business that can make you a fortune." You know, what's wrong with that? So let's see. Got a couple other things I wanted to share with you, but that's the focus that I wanted for this morning, was that conversation I have with that couple. What's it take to become successful in Zija? The same things it takes to become successful in anything, folks. And you know, make no mistake about it. And I'm not bagging on teachers, the educational system, but be very clear. In the Western world, the educational system is not designed, nor does it teach success. It teaches people how to make a living. Okay, that's what school does. Don't for one second think that your college education was ever designed to create success. Simply, the more education you get, assuming that you're doing it in things like science and so on versus the humanities, you're going to make more money. Brain surgeons are going to make more money. Anyway, so let's do this, folks. I hope that was helpful to you. I hope that was meaningful. I hope you got some good notes. I'm going to go ahead for the time that we have available to us. I'm going to open up for question and answers. I see that I apparently disabled the Q&A box, but there's a chat box. And if you go to you know, your little window, you'll see a place where there's a little chat feature there. You're welcome to submit a question. I will see it pop up, and I'll do my very best to answer it. And as you're formulating those questions, let me kind of just give you a little outline here for the next couple of weeks. Yes, we're heading into the holidays. I always focus on, you know, my life in the real working world before network marketing, and I realize that in the real world, you only get 1 day off for Christmas. You only get 1 day off for New Year's. Okay, and frankly, for a lot of people, the only reason they gave you that day off is because nobody's going to be able to do business. You know, if you work for a company and you're delivering a, you know, you're selling a good or service, or you know, nobody wants to do business with you on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, and so that's why they give you the day off, right? But for me, same thing. I mean, that's one of the things I learned a long time ago. Okay, if you work your business like you work your job, assuming you're a valued employee, you're going to be successful. And so I'm working right up through Christmas Eve, which is tomorrow, and I should probably shut down a little bit early. Christmas Day, I'll be off. Following day, the 26th, I'm back to work. Okay, again, part-time, but I'll be available for connection calls. You can reach out to me. We're gonna have the same scenario on New Year's. Be aware the company's hours have changed a little bit. Distributor Sport's not available to you on the Saturday leading up to Christmas, Saturday leading up to New Year's. They'll have the day off, and then they'll be back the next day. Let's see, the calendar of events remains the same. We're going to have health talks with Pat Anderson on Wednesday, biz talks with me on Thursday, Saturday morning fast start training or new distributor trainings. Let's see, I'm going to do these questions here. How can you make your story, Charles, forgive me, buddy, you spell like I do, probably resignative, or relevant maybe. I'm telling mine, no one seems to care. All right, good question, Charles, and then Ben, I'll get to yours in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna paraphrase Charles' question. How do I make my story better? Because as I'm sharing my story, nobody seems to care. All right, understand something. Network marketing, at its highest level of understanding, is a team sport. It's not an individual sport, okay? You can't do it by yourself. And I'm going to suggest to you, if you're a brand new distributor, maybe you've been using the product for a while, maybe you've had great product results, you don't have a business story. There is nothing that you can share that's going to cause your potential business prospect to be interested. Honestly, it's got to be more than the product. Now, here's what I'm going to suggest to you. If you're approaching people as a potential customer, and Charles, I know you got a great product story. Your personal product story can be very effective in acquiring a new customer. But you got to understand, first of all, when do you share your story? You share your story based upon a need you heard from your prospect. See, too many people are out there trying to talk at people. Okay, I learned a long time ago, I only want to talk to people that want to talk to me. When somebody says, man, I'll tell you what, it's been tough working out at the gym with this bad elbow, this bad knee, the bad shoulder, I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to stay fit, but man, that old injury, it's just coming back and back and back, the arthritis, what have you. When I hear a need for my product, that's when I'm going to share a story, my story, stories of others. But I'm not going to try and prospect them for the business, because I didn't hear that a need for the business. I heard them expressing a need for the product, and it'll go generically something like, well, Bob, that's interesting. I've got something that I've been using that could really help with that. Would you be interested in hearing about it? See, I want my prospect to say, oh, yes, tell me more. It's, permission-based selling. And number one, you got to make sure there's a need for your story. Number two, you got to learn how to tell your story effectively. And that's something that we can work on, together, Charles. And finally, you have to understand, it's not just your story. It's your story and the stories of others, as many stories as is necessary for the prospect to say, I want to try the product. Now, be real clear on this. You're going to be a lot more effective. And now, if we're talking about prospecting in the business, Charles, you don't have a story yet. Okay? There's nothing you can say about the income potential of Zija that is going to resonate with them, because you don't have one yourself. This is why that whole concept of, share the story, yours and others, as many stories as is necessary to get the prospect interested to move forward. But in particular, when you're prospecting, potential distributors, potential business partners, you can't do it by yourself. You've got to have others working with you. Don't try this by yourself. Now, Charles, you need to go back to your new distributor training. Okay, what do we do and how do we do it? Okay, in this case, prospecting distributor, it's a 3-step system. Invitation, that's your job. Invite them to take a look after you've identified the need. Number 2, presentation. Don't be the one doing the talking. Don't be the one doing the presentation. Don't be the one. Use the tools for the presentation. Everybody always wants to know, what tools should I use? Doesn't make any difference, folks. Try to be a little bit selective, getting the right, presentation to the person, speak to the listening of the audience ears. But frankly, the presentation, all it really is the prequel to the 3rd step, which is the validation. Invitation, presentation, validation, or if you will, peak, pass, plug. Folks, nothing really happens till the 3rd step until you've got somebody else on the phone or on the Zoom meeting or face-to-face with your prospect, somebody besides you that's had success in the business. Okay? Even I have to do that. When I'm prospecting somebody, everybody goes, thinks, wow, it must be easy to prospect if you're Fred. He's made $1 gazillion. It's actually harder. People don't, first of all, they don't believe the amount of money I've made. They think I got lucky if they actually believe the amount of money I made. They definitely don't think they can do it. Folks, my story isn't the story that I use to prospect a new distributor. I may share my story, but what I do is I will use 3rd-party validation from one of my team members, because their stories are a lot more believable, and it eliminates that problem of, well, it would be great if I could be like you, Fred, but I'm not like you. I can't do what you do. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Make sure you're sharing the right story. Make sure you're doing it effectively. Make sure you've listened to see if there's a reason to share your story, and be very crystal clear that your story cannot prospect a distributor. Okay, and reach out to me directly, and Charles, and I'll help refine that if need be. Another question from Ben: how important are the first 2 legs? How important are the first 2 legs to the future success of your business? How important are the first 2 legs? Well, thank you, Charles. I've done this for a while, so hopefully, Charles just said, that was an awesome answer. Well, don't be too impressed, Charles. I tell people I'm really not that good at this, but if you do something for over 30 years, you better get a little good at it, right? How important are the first 2 legs to the future success of your business? Okay, Ben, I'm not 100% clear on what you mean by that. In the first 2 recruits, maybe. In Zija's compensation plan, we have a binary compensation plan. That means 2 legs, and we create volume through those 2 legs, and we get paid on the amount of volume we can match across the 2 legs. And so, in a perfect world, we try and build both legs so they have equal amounts of volume. Note, equal amounts of volume, not necessarily equal amounts of people. Okay. As I was developing my Zija business, there was a point in time where my right leg had, twice as many bodies in it as my left leg, but my left leg was out producing my right leg in terms of volume. We only get paid on volume. And while I'm thinking about it, just, real simple, how to, in terms of placement. When you recruit a new person, new distributor into your business, you place them in the outsides of your legs. Okay, if you think about it, as you're looking at that binary tree, you've got that first node at the top, that's you, and then there's the 2 positions directly underneath it. That's easy, you got to fill one or the other, right? But under those 2 positions, once they're in place, there's 4 positions, an inside and an outside on each one. Never go to the inside. Always recruit and build your personal enrollees down the outside. So that's rule number one. Rule number two, balance the legs based on volume, not based upon how many people are there. Don't worry, oh, this leg's only got 50 people, this leg's got 100 people, I need to put them over here. How many people are in the leg makes no difference whatsoever. What's the volume? You put your new person in the lesser volume leg. Now, if I can kind of, extrapolate a little bit here. How important are the first two? When you said legs, you might mean 2 enrollees, or you might mean 2 personal enrollment tree legs. Ben, I'm going to tell you, it's always best to start with the best. Here's a little phrase that will help you. If we are going to war, we best recruit the generals first. If we're going to go to war, recruit the generals first. In our type of business, it's so common, the novice new networker, instead of going after what could be potentially his best team members, he goes after the more weaker ones for whatever reason. Maybe you feel you got more influence on them. They're going to be easier to get. And folks, my focus has always been recruit people better than me. Now, I never, ever, ever deny somebody an opportunity to be successful, because if my original sponsor in my first company had decided for me, well, Fred's a nice guy, he's a hard worker, but he's a truck driver, he's got no contacts, he's not got any money, he's not got a lot of credibility and high business levels to circles, he's not going to make it. And honestly, my sponsor told me probably 2 years after he sponsored me, he really never thought I was going to make it back in the day. Okay, but he did not deny me the opportunity to try. So I never deny anybody the opportunity to try. But my suggestion would be to focus on recruiting up. Pick people that are better than you, people that are more successful, people that have larger circles of influence, people that have greater credibility within those circles. Those are the people you want to go after first. That doesn't mean you're going to get them. Okay. However, you are a lot more likely to get them if you follow the system correctly. Let's say, and Ben, I really don't know your situation, but let's say you're a guy like me, you're a truck driver. Okay. But you've got a guy that you know from the community is a very successful insurance agent. Okay. If you do the system correctly, instead of you being the one to try and prospect him, ask him for some help. Mr. Successful guy I know, I found something that looks pretty interesting, but I highly value your opinion because of the success you've had. Would you help me? Would you do me a favor? Take a look at what I'm looking at. Tell me if you see any potential there. And most successful guys are going to help the young fella out. And, sure, I'll take a look, give you my wise opinion. And what you want to do is follow the system. Presentation, validation. Put them on the phone with a successful diamond. I mean, I'll talk to a successful insurance agent. I'll explain to him what I do is exactly what you do. The only difference is I bury you in income. I work 1/10 of the hours that you work, and I could quit working today and my money will go up. Would you be interested in learning a little bit more, right? See, you might not be able to pull that off. Now, how important is the first 2 people you sponsor? It really doesn't make any difference, Ben. Okay, you're going to, you sponsor Bob, you sponsor Mary, put Bob on the left, put Mary on the right. Here's what the real key is, because in the beginning, I didn't have high, profile contacts. I've never really personally sponsored anybody in any of my businesses. Well, there's been a couple exceptions, but, in general, pretty much average people, because that's my contact base. Where my, strong suit, my superpower is I understand how to do network marketing, multi-level marketing. I know that I can take my brand new person, help them get some customers. And if they're willing to open up their contact base, I can find, it may take a while, but I can find a couple of people to do the business with them. Now, those 2 people that I help them do the business with them, they may not be the people we're looking for either, but they can bring me to 2 more. And then they can bring me to 2 more. And then they can bring me to 2 more. And my organization has been built over the years on average people doing a little. with a lot of people doing a little. So Ben, I don't know if that helped with that question. That is a little bit of a challenge having, you know, just kind of a one-way communication or question and answer. But certainly feel free to reach out to me if there's something I can, you know, elucidate or what have you. Elucidate. Who said that? Forget the guy's name, sports announcer. Anyway, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try and do a better job if I can. But the answer to the question is, it doesn't make any difference. If you understand how to do multi-level marketing, you can take anybody, help them find two, and then help them find two, and help them find two, and help them find two, and 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. When it starts to get really exciting, when 100 becomes 200, it's teaching a simple system. Network marketing success stories are built around guys like me, okay, who are just willing to believe that they could master the simple skills and just do it long enough until you get the results that you're looking for. You got a couple of minutes left. Great help. Hey, well, good, man. Appreciate that. And I love that word, elucidate. Yeah, elucidate me. All right, very good. Well, folks, I think we're ready to put the finishing touches on today's session. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Remember, our schedule is just like every other schedule. We're going to continue to do the deal. We maintain, you know, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, health talks and biz talks, Saturday morning new distributor training. I will tell you that one of the things that I do is I take a little respite here from home. Used to be I disappear to the islands for a couple of weeks every 3 months, you know, but as I said, each year that goes by, there's a little bit more time and attention necessary. This past year was a real tough year. And so I will be taking my little 2-week respite to the islands, leaving first part of January. Really not going to be much of a modification as far as Zija land is concerned. You'll still be able to reach out to me through the normal channels. I'll still just take a certain period of time every day. I'll do a connection call, a Zoom meeting, what have you. It will tend to be morning and mid-afternoon hours because of the time zone I'm in. Amy McKenzie has graciously offered to step in and help me with some of my presentations, so those are going to continue to take place. And with that, I want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful Christmas. You know, whether or not you celebrate Christmas, it's, you know, for some it's just the concept of the season. For us believers, it's the, you know, it's the realization of the promise coming true. So I want to wish all of you a wonderful holiday, a wonderful Christmas, and we'll be right back at it doing the deal beginning of next week. All right, folks. Well, let's see if we got one last thing here. Hey, thank you, Mary. All right, folks. Appreciate you. Hope you had as much fun as me this morning. This will be posted on the YouTube channel here in a little bit. All right. Have a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye. Let's see here.